Hello everyone, my name is Lakna. Welcome to my channel. So in this video, I want to talk about the upcoming full moon, which is happening around June 21st to 22nd, depending on where you live. And in Vedic astrology, this full moon is happening in the sign of Sagittarius and in the nakshatra called Mula. So as we move into the full moon, the moon is waxing, it's getting bigger and brighter, and eventually by the full moon, it will be illuminating these energies to us, allowing us all to really tap into Mula energy and really get deep with our life to get to the root of all matters in our life that we are open to, because at the time of the full moon is when things that we have hidden from ourselves or things that have been hidden from us, from our awareness for whatever reason, that we are now ready to face will arise, it will surface. So just be prepared for that, set your intentions, and really prepare to allow yourself to connect with your higher self, with your body as well, your mind, body and spirit, just to connect really and really deeply go within at the time of this full moon. This is an energy that it's not necessarily a calming energy, it's very intense and very passionate, but it is so powerfully transformative. So it's nothing to be afraid of. I feel that there's a lot of bad rep on this star, like Vedic astrology in general tends to be quite harsh with describing a lot of things, but this star, I feel personally, is so powerful. Where once you understand it and once you really appreciate and accept all parts of life and all parts of yourself, you can then truly appreciate and understand this star. So this star, the symbol is the roots, like the roots of a tree. Imagine they are underneath the earth. Usually you can't see the roots of a tree, and this is like our subconscious or our unconscious thoughts and our beliefs and our behavior patterns that we're not aware of. These are not really visible to the physical eye. These are things that we continuously do and repeat in our life until something really dramatic and chaotic happens to us that needs to wake us up to really transform and change. And this is kind of the energies of this star. And the more self-awareness you develop and the more accustomed you become to positive transformation and change and really connecting with your highest self and your truth, your authentic self, your authentic path and your purpose, and whatever your higher self is guiding you to do, the more connected you become with that, the more smoother life will be. So the deities involved with this nakshatra are the fiercest forms of Shakti or divine feminine energy, such as Nariti and the goddess Kali. These goddesses they have the power to destroy all that does not serve our highest good in their highest forms. And in order to do that, and it is a very intense journey of this destruction of ego, of pain, of suffering, of the limiting, outdated ways of being and living that do not serve our highest good and the highest good of all. In order for that destruction to take place, we need to be in full acceptance and non-judgment of the duality of life, of what we deem to be negative or hard or suffering. We need to completely almost appreciate those things as a part of this human experience, and we need to be an observer without attachment to emotion really, but just being aware and observing life in its duality that does exist, and it's very obvious that it exists. When you look on the news, you can see some parts of the world are in complete chaos, and you can see that there are still so many people who are not willing to go deep to the root of the matters of their own lives, to really experience and heal their past pains and the traumas that they continue to repeat, and that is leading to things like wars and, you know, violence and all these negative things that we see around us. But with this star, what these powerful goddesses really want us to do is to not judge anyone or anything that is happening around us, but to just observe and be aware that this is the nature of life. There is a duality that must exist, and you get to choose what you tap into, what energy you choose to consume and be around and really, you know, let out into the world as well. So it's up to you. And the more and more that you pay attention to and notice yourself when you do step into some sort of pattern or loop that you're also experiencing, the sooner you notice that, you can change and you can really work on changing that. And if you don't, it's fine as well. Like, we're all on this learning path of healing ourselves and becoming more and more authentic with our path and who we're supposed to be, so that we can all be happy and healthy as possible. But this full moon, it's not a coincidence that it is happening towards the end of the month, when Saturn will soon then also be retrograding. When Saturn retrogrades, this gives us a time to really go back in time and reflect on the karmic actions that we have taken, if good and bad, negative and positive. Not that anything is good or bad, but just to reflect and to reapproach any situations or people's circumstances that maybe we could have done better. We'll be given the opportunity to do that as Saturn retrogrades. And if there's some opportunities that maybe we didn't get the recognition we deserve, then even in those situations, that will resurface as well at this time for other people to reapproach, or for, you know, things to align for you in the way that it's supposed to. I believe that no action goes unseen by the universe. Saturn really teaches us that. Not just Saturn, but a lot of these planets and astrology in general really teaches us that each action we take and everything that we do, like, nothing goes unseen in this universe. And yeah, this energy with Saturn retrograde will be able to tap more into that understanding of the karmic patterns, and this full moon is really going to illuminate some things to us, or try to. If we're ready to see and listen, then yeah, it is a powerful time for us to tap into that and, you know, make some time for yourself. Prepare yourself for this full moon. Prepare for yourself to have some time to meditate, to go within, to connect with your higher self, to also, you know, create a sacred ritual for yourself at the time of this full moon, and set some powerful intentions for yourself as well to uncover. Like, ask yourself, where do you want to get deeper with understanding some part of your life, some part of yourself? Like, maybe it's to do with your childhood upbringing. Just set the intention at the time of the full moon. You don't actually have to do all these things straight away, but even just setting those intentions is a powerful place to start. So a shadow trait of this nakshatra is having self-destructive tendencies, which we all do to some extent at some point in our life. we all go through some sort of addiction, behavior pattern. It could be literally anything that we don't want to let go of, that is in some way serving our comfortability with ourselves and not being ready to face our fears and go through a transformation, because that literally requires the old version of us dying, and we feel that death of the old version of us, and it is hard, it's painful. But especially with this star, and at the time of this full moon, maybe this will be illuminated to you, is any sort of self-destructive behaviors that you have going on. For me, I know it's sugar. Like, sugar is so bad for our bodies, but I love sweets. And I know one of my old housemates she is a highly psychic woman, and it's interesting that I'm bringing her up because she had strong Mula in her chart, but she was very tapped in. And actually all the women I know with this nakshatra in their chart are very psychic, so that is another thing. But this old housemate of mine really woke me up to the fact that being addicted to sweets is really a cry for healing with your sacral chakra, because the sacral chakra is all to do with your desires and really enjoying life. And when you're not allowing yourself to enjoy the sweetness of life, which can be just really relaxing, it can be going out with friends, it can be whatever you do to have fun, if you're not allowing yourself to do that, then you'll look for sweetness in other unhealthy ways. So I just mentioned that because it is really interesting when you look into the habits and the behaviors that you want to change in yourself. If you really delve deeper into the root of the cause of that, that can really help you heal and transmute and transform that behavior pattern. Particularly with this star, people with this star, and I'm sure that not just Mula natives, but a lot of us can relate to this, is when we do have this transformative scorpionic type of energy in ourselves, in our charts, and we really have this subconscious drive to transform ourselves. Actually, most people on the spiritual path, we are like this. Like, we're constantly trying to improve ourselves, trying to really glow up and really transform our lives for the better. When we have that sort of mindset, we're also subconsciously a little bit attracted to pain and uncomfortable situations that are going to force us into this transformation. And it's especially true with this star, and you can see that I've seen that natives with this star have this subconscious drive to kind of like the dark side of hanging out with the wrong crowds and people that may take advantage of them, and situations that really are not aligned with their higher selves at all. And they can get stuck in these situations until they really develop and realize their growth and their light and their power and their strength, and they realize that they needed to learn something through this experience. So reflect on your own life as well if this resonates. Another really interesting aspect of this star is the powerful energy of the feminine that you find here, that is super independent and strong and brave. It is like this boss kind of feminine energy. Because of this powerfulness of this energy, there is less of the nurturing and nourishing, softer feminine energy that is found here. And it's hard for people with this star to really tap into that nurturing quality for themselves. And this is something to really reflect on in your life, is where, like, are you nurturing to yourself and nourishing, and do you need to be more of that for yourself, especially if your life is filled with this transformative energy where you're constantly evolving and changing. Life for all of us is not easy, and in order to be rooted, to be grounded, to be stable during all of the change and the chaos that happens, we really need to also allow for self-care, for nourishing, for making sure we're eating right, we're resting, we're sleeping, we're looking after ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally. This is that soft feminine energy, which is really interesting that the previous new moon we had was in Taurus in the nakshatra Rohini, and the previous new moon, I feel, really does connect to the full moon. So these energies are themes that we are really trying to understand and process in this chapter of our lives. And the previous new moon was a very soft feminine energy that's super allowing and open and magnetic and receptive, and just really, really chill and really calm. And there needs to be a balance. So another really powerful thing about this nakshatra Mula, when I think about the themes of this star, they are very similar to the symptoms of ascension or spiritual awakening. And, you know, themes such as like the dark night of the soul, or you know, being isolated and really feeling like disconnected from the world and going through this heaviness and having to process like past wounds and traumas coming up, resurfacing, and experiencing like chaos in your life as things are transforming and moving around you because you are also evolving. This is really very descriptive of Mula Nakshatra in its highest form. And if you think about the roots of the tree, if you can get, like, the deeper that you can go with your life and uncovering those deep truths that Jupiter and Ketu are wanting for you, and really experiencing the deep, dark facets of yourself and of life that you're willing to face and really heal and process, the more that you can do that, the deeper you can go and the further down you can go. That really indicates how far up you can rise as well. And ascension to me is really rising above the limitations of this material world. And I feel that Mula Nakshatra really gives us the potential to do that. So it's a really powerful time for us all now. As we move into this full moon, we have the potential to really release some karmic attachments and old wounds and like patterns, behaviors and loops that maybe we've been repeating. They're going to resurface, especially also with Saturn going retrograde now. We really have a powerful potential to transform ourselves at the deepest level. So another thing about this nakshatra is it is Vata in nature. Vata energy is very changeable, it's movable, which can lead to this feeling of restlessness and impulsiveness and just really wanting to be free and going with the flow and moving and changing fast, which can lead to a heightened nervous system because things are happening very fast and quickly. So it's important, the star, one of the major themes is to stay rooted and to stay grounded with yourself and with your life always, and take moments to breathe and to pause and to tap back into more of that soft feminine energy. And another thing with this star is the animal symbol is the male dog for Mula Nakshatra. And it's interesting because the nakshatra exactly opposite Mula, which is Ardra Nakshatra, and these two nakshatras are like dual signs, like they're very similar. Ardra is more of the fierce masculine energy, and it's interesting because the Sun and Venus are going to be in the nakshatra of Ardra at the time of this full moon, and the nakshatra Ardra, the animal symbol is the female dog, whereas Mula, it's the male dog. And then Mula is also carrying more of the fierce feminine energy, and you can see how the dualities of the gender energies swap there with the animals. And something to look at with the symbol of the dog is that the ancient form of the dog, the most ancient ancestor of a dog, is the wolf, and the wolf is wild and free and sometimes dangerous, can be really vicious and ferocious. And we see in the Vedic astrology as well, in the scriptures, there is this dog who is actually the transportation for some of the gods. There is the dog that is the transportation for Saturn, and this really shows that the power for this wild, ferocious, sometimes dangerous energy to really be tamed and also become something that is of service to others and very meaningful. Like, there's service dogs out there, there's pets that we have that are dogs that are super loving and loyal and kind and just filled with so much joy and this uplifting energy, that we all have both sides of us, just like the dog and the ancient ancestor of the wolf. Like, we all have all of the range of emotions within us. Some of us repress those emotions. Some of us are not even aware that we have those emotions within us, but we all do have the full array of emotions and things to experience in this lifetime. And the more comfortable we become with the full spectrum of that in this life experience, we're able to then see everything with like less and less judgment, and just to observe it and just be aware of it with full acceptance. And then if we're all able to do that with absolute no judgment for others, and that first comes with no judgment for yourself in any way, and full just love and surrender to understanding yourself and accepting yourself just as you are. That's all I wanted to share. I hope that you all have such a powerful and beautifully transformative, enlightening, awakening and illuminating full moon. And I hope that the insights that come through to you come with so much love for yourself and for others. And if you are interested in a personal reading, I really recommend you looking into your personal birth chart. I do offer readings. They're on my Etsy website, and I also do tarot readings if you're interested. All of that is in my bio. These sort of readings really help you to delve deeper to the roots of who you are, and this is truly what life is all about. And yeah, I'm here for you if you resonate. And also, if you are new to my channel, please, let me know how you're going. Tell me your stories as well. I love to hear what resonates and what's going on with all of you. I love to connect. And yeah, besides that, I'll see you all in my next video.